While reading an article titled Discourse Analysis of Games by James Paul G., I have recently come across the concept of affordances and constraints. Every piece of interactive media out there contains affordances and constraints. Affordances resemble all the functionalities that a certain platform allows you to do, like how social media platforms allow you to post, react, comment, and so on. Constraints are the exact opposite. Limitations, whether intentionally or unintentionally, placed to guide your usage as per the platform's purpose. Within video games, notable examples of constraints would be not being able to explore areas beyond the map, or not have an assigned jump button, or the inability to interact with certain characters, while affordances are everything else the game allows you to do, deliberately or otherwise. When you go for the Don't Fear the Reaper ending, the game places multiple constraints upon you: not having allies, not being able to save manually, gradually losing your maximum health due to the relic malfunction, and that's besides the fact that the enemies are harder to defeat, and obviously, if you die, it's game over. Well, of course the game autosaves and you can always reload after the credits roll, but let us just stick with the illusion. On the other hand, the mission offers a lot of affordances as well. And because affordances are relational and not inherent, it takes the player to both identify and appreciate them. You have access to all of your weapons, implants, you have your experience from the playthrough, and you have Johnny. Within the other endings, you do not have Johnny as an affordance because he will be replaced by the ally, or he's going to be in control of your own body. Another affordance is the fact that no one gets to die for V. What is more interesting is that it is easier for the player to identify the affordances when faced with threatening limitations. You would have greater appreciation for your arsenal. You'd be careful with the implants you choose to install. You'd be more appreciative of Johnny supporting you throughout the run because this seems like a challenge too difficult to achieve. You will come to cherish the skills you have assembled throughout the game because the enemies are simply harder. The mission's design slowly revolves around V needing to overcome the challenge despite the multiplicity of limitations. That through the limitation, V is liberated, or better said, unleashed. Such an awareness of what you can and can't do and how you can use that to win explains why Don't Fear the Reaper is such an adrenaline rush, not just a pushover. Having said that, the genius behind the mission's design has a narrative layer as well. First, the mission seems to parallel Johnny's run on Arasaka 50 years earlier. The same song is playing in the background, Johnny goes up against Adam Smasher, but the differences between how each encounter ended are what makes Don't Fear the Reaper even more valuable. This also begs the question of why Johnny lost in V1, and whether V is better than Johnny, at least lore-wise. There's actually a little bit more than that to it. In terms of motivation, Johnny joined the raid on Arasaka both to get revenge for what happened to Alt and to free her from their subnet. V stormed Arasaka for the very simple reason of saving their own skin. At the end of Love Like Fire, Johnny is in prison. At the end of Don't Fear the Reaper, both of them would be somewhat liberated regardless of whether you choose to give your body to Johnny. Besides, the fact that Johnny's repaired friendship with V at the end of Chippin' In is the main catalyst for this ending says a lot about Johnny himself. The Rockerboy decides to look past himself, put his trust in V while knowing how suicidal the mission is. The selfish persona V got to know at the beginning of the game would have prioritized himself instead. Usually Johnny's character growth is completed only if you choose the Temperance ending, but going for Don't Fear the Reaper allows you to explore a somewhat different version of Johnny, someone who is able to put his trust in others, to stay by their side, and to die by their side willingly and proudly. So yes, Johnny believed that V could do it without the allies, which he couldn't do. He believed that V can take on Adam Smasher, which he couldn't do, and he believed that V could find a way to save themselves, which no one believed V could do. I believe that Don't Fear the Reaper makes much more sense after the release of Edgerunners, and here's why. I like how both characters are pushed to their limits. David about to give in to cyberpsychosis, and V about to die. David was aiming for the top of Arasaka Tower, while V was aiming for the bottom. Both were determined, but not equally. Like Johnny, David was doing it to save someone or at least get their revenge for hurting someone. Even though like V, his dream was always to become the best in Night City. Again, V was only doing it for themselves. And also like Johnny, David lost his crew members in the process. V didn't bring anyone with them, seeming to learn from the mistakes of others. Both David and Johnny lost the Smasher, but V won. But still, even without comparing V to anyone else, As a protagonist, they do something that goes up against many of the conventional endings. In a book titled Forms and Functions of Endings in Narrative Digital Games, writer Michelle Herta includes a list of typical endings, or at least character motivations that are achieved through the ending. Reveal of a mystery, escaping danger, saving someone, saving the world, finding the treasure, getting revenge, and so on. In Don't Fear the Reaper, at least at an implicit level, V's motivation is only proving themselves. I am well aware that the obvious priority is to save V's life, but is it though? If V's number one priority was to save themselves at all costs, then Don't Fear the Reaper would not have been an option in the first place because the other endings, except for the suicide ending, sound logical by comparison. Going with Rogue ensures the support of an experienced veteran and the afterlife. Going with the Alegados ensures the support of a whole nomad clan and Pan Am. Going with Hanako ensures the support of a whole conglomerate, at least a faction of it, and going for the tower ending ensures the support of a whole government. And that was V's closest chances to get in a quiet life, even if they will become nobodies in the process. Then why would Don't Fear the Reaper be suggested in the first place? And even more interestingly, the ending's alternative is the suicide ending. It's pretty simple, because that's who V's been since the prologue. V wanted to prove themselves to Night City, to become a legend. Many other game endings are based on moral evaluations, whether you are doing the right thing. Don't Fear the Reaper is reckless, suicidal, and bears no moral weight. Just an angry Merc with nothing to lose at that point. There is no guaranteed victory, no reward. The only thing closest to guaranteed to V is that they went in a blaze of glory and were in control of their own destiny. So in a way, V's story ended the moment they went inside Arasaka, and winning through their solo run was a consequence they didn't care to anticipate. Their longtime dream was achieved by simply having the courage to face death in the eye without compromising who they were or endangering their friends in the process. Still, I believe there is one more drive for V to choose Don't Fear the Reaper. If you pay attention during the prologue, being the best in Night City is Jackie's dream, and not V's. V was not so open about being the best until their conversation with the doll in Automatic Love. Jackie keeps on mentioning legends from Night City's past throughout their conversations. Jackie is obsessed with reaching the big leagues to the point that V finds it too much at times. Jackie and V are one and the same, and they share the same dream. However, sadly, by the time V managed to become powerful enough to be part of the big leagues, Jackie was already gone. So storming Arasaka Tower alone is something Jackie would have been proud of, and as said by Claire during Path to Glory, V made Jackie's dream come true, and Rogue is there to celebrate it with them as well. Going back to the concept of affordances and constraints, in addition to gameplay affordances, the game adds up narrative affordances as well, even though the player would have to connect it themselves. By finishing Don't Fear the Reaper all the way to the end, you make Johnny proud, you make David proud, you make Jackie proud. You do something no one managed to do, not even Morgan Blackhand. In terms of everything both the player and V have gone through throughout the story, Don't Fear the Reaper is a suitable conclusion to V's journey, which adds up to the player's enjoyment and excitement with every playthrough. To be honest, my only wish is that Don't Fear the Reaper introduces a flexibility of endings afterwards. It is the hardest ending after all, so the reward would be a multiplicity of choices aside from the duality of the Temperance ending and the Path of Glory ending. V's final heist during the epilogue after going through Don't Fear the Reaper seemed absurd to me. They have achieved the impossible. What is there left to prove? But the developers made it that way for a reason. My theory is that this was an eventual result of V's thirst for more, and that one solo run can eventually be forgotten, and that their reputation needs to be solidified with a much more dangerous operation. And yeah, I agree with the theory that says that Mr. Blue Eyes can help V find a cure, but that is yet to be confirmed, maybe in the next game. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the major leagues.